Alright, what's happening? I don't know about you guys, but this quarantine shit has turned me into an actual fucking human trash bag. I want to show you something. Do you see the time currently? It is nearly 5 o'clock, and I literally just rolled out of bed like half an hour ago. I almost would qualify as nocturnal at this point. It's really bad, and it's gonna be really hard to correct when this shit is over, if it ever ends. But I was kind of in the mood to talk about some more records, and I'm gonna keep it again. This is just gonna be non-metal shit, mainly because it seems like you guys like hearing about the non-metal shit at least as much as the metal stuff. And I have just sort of amassed quite a bit of non-metal shit that I really like and I would like to talk about. So we're gonna do that. The first thing I'm going to show you here is what we're listening to, of course. This is the newest Edo album, Without Emotions. So you might remember the last time, I think it was the last time I did one of these non-metal videos, I showed a cassette, an Ill Humans cassette. Well, when that guy had sent me that cassette, and I had mentioned that he had sent a note with it, he had kind of mentioned that this was a project from the other half of that band, and he knew that my favorite song from the Ill Human stuff was a song called Lonely Soulmates, and he had mentioned that this is where that song came from. This is the original version of that song is on this. So, you know, I picked it up pretty much immediately, and it's fucking fantastic. The guy was cool enough to sign it. I'll link like the Bandcamp. I'll link this guy's Instagram. It's a good way to keep up with the new shit that he's doing. But yeah, man, really fucking cool. He also sent a couple of pins, which I guess I'll show you. I pulled them out. Maybe I won't show you because my fucking camera doesn't want to focus. Come on, you cunt. There you go. 2 pins, very cool. But yeah, good like dark wave stuff. I'll talk more about this style of music in this video. Not first though. First we're gonna talk about something that I would consider to be very nostalgic for me. And I could honestly probably call this one of my favorite albums ever. Like if somebody were to force me to make like top 20 favorite albums ever, this could be one of those albums. This is Voltaire with The Devil's Bris. If you guys aren't familiar, I don't even really know how to qualify this into like a genre. I don't know, it doesn't fit neatly into any one genre. I wouldn't call it a rock album. I wouldn't call it exclusively like a goth album. So it's tough, I don't know. I don't know how to qualify this. You'll hear a little song clip of it, so you know, maybe that'll give you an idea. Voltaire has a pretty fat discography these days. This is the very first album that came out in 1998 on Project Records. Now the reason that this was so exciting for me, I was actually at an airport. I don't remember where. I was sitting in an airport. That's where I saw that Voltaire had announced that this was getting a vinyl pressing, which for me is super fucking cool because I've always really wanted some of the Voltaire stuff on vinyl. I don't need literally all of it, but I would love to see Almost Human, I'd love to see Boohoo, and I'd love to see Raised by Bats get put to vinyl. But regardless, I was super fucking excited to see that Voltaire had sort of at least taken notice to the fact that there is demand for his stuff to be put to vinyl, and that gives me hope that some of the other stuff maybe will as well. Anyway, there's the album cover right there, just a picture of his mug. There's the back cover right there with all the track listing. This comes with an inner sleeve here, 3 pictures of the man himself and all the lyrics, and the vinyl itself. All of them were released on this like orangey black marbly swirl color, which is really nice. 500 copies if I didn't say it already. So I don't know how to sell this to people who are completely unfamiliar because again, I just don't really know how to qualify it. But best songs on this one, Ex-Lover's Lover is fantastic. When You're Evil is the first song I ever heard from Voltaire fucking ages ago. Snakes is a good one. The Man Upstairs, They Know Me, Anniversary, fantastic, man. I absolutely fucking love this record. And I have a feeling a lot of you guys would too. The lyrics are super witty, the music is very fun, I like his voice. Awesome. Yeah, check this shit out, fantastic. Voltaire, The Devil's Bris.
Bones are exposed and well, you know how that goes. I wait for the day when I finally defile the bodies of my ex-lovers, lovers I'll pile.
Alright, let's talk about some of the darkwave stuff I've been fucking gushing over recently. And this is one of the fucking best, man. And I think even within the genre, I think this band is widely considered one of the big boys. And there's a good fucking reason for it, man. This is absolutely fantastic. This is She Passed Away with Disko Anxiety. So just to be certain, because I kind of had an idea that that is what that translates to, but I have a feeling, since Google Translate likes to be a little bit too literal, the album's name is probably like translates to anxiety disco. But regardless, this is exactly the type of shit I've been looking for lately, man. I can't get over this band specifically as being just one of the most fun musical projects I've ever heard. If you're not familiar with She Passed Away, this band formed in Turkey in like 2006. And this is the third full-length album. This one came out last year and would have absolutely been the top 3 of my favorite records to have come out last year. I absolutely adore this. So if you've never heard it, it is like darkwave, obviously. This one has a very 80s sounding atmosphere, but despite the sort of really fun beats, catchy rhythms and shit like that, this one, like the other 2 records, maintains a pretty dark vibe throughout the entirety of the record. And if you asked me to pick a favorite of like the 3 She Passed Away records, I'd probably tell you that it was the first one, but honestly, I think this one has latched itself onto me in a way that the other 2 just have not. Favorite song on this one is absolutely the second one, Durdu Dunya. I don't know, I just love this shit. There's the album cover, which I think fits quite nicely with the sound of this music. There's the back cover right there with all the track listing. You do have an inner sheet that folds out. There's the 2 band members. And the lyrics are all in Turkish. So they're pretty much useless for me because I don't speak Turkish. The vinyl itself just comes in this like black plain sleeve. But I did get the red vinyl, which I don't remember if this was like the limitation was specified or anything. But this one is an absolute blast, and I think this one probably has a bit less of like a sad, melancholic feel that like a lot of the darkwave stuff that I've really found to like up to this point has. This is definitely more fun, but it definitely still has a dark vibe, like I said. So if that sounds interesting to you at all, then check this one out, man. Fantastic. She Passed Away with Disko Anxiety. Alright, here's one that I got really recently, and man, I've been burning this one up since it came. Yeah, it's another album from last year as well. This is Edelweiss, or Edelweiss, the self-titled full-length album. So, from what I understand, this band is from Hungary, and they've been relatively active over the last couple years. They had a couple demos come out before this one, and I think they've put out something since this. So they seem to be a relatively active band, and it's all really good stuff. And I feel like I see this band just sort of written off as like a Black Magic SS clone, but this doesn't really sound like Black Magic SS, like at all. This is very straightforward, like psychedelic rock, which a lot of the Black Magic stuff is as well. What I could sort of also see being used as a comparison is that this is really, really densely packed with very catchy melodies and just good songwriting. This does lack any harsh vocals at all. It's all sort of like clean singing. And though the vocals aren't like good, they work and I like them. But this one is just an overly fun record, like front to back burner, man. The album cover is really bad. There's the back cover right there. This was released on Darker Than Black. And it was put out on through Merchant of Death, but I think Expansion Abyss was the US distro that got them. And like, man, I was waiting on this one forever to hit a US distro because I do not like ordering from Europe. But yeah, so once I saw it hit Expansion Abyss, it was immediate. I had to, you know, I had to just grab it. And this doesn't come with a lyric sheet or anything. I did just get the black vinyl because that is what was available to me. But all that being said, if you do like the Blackmagic SS sound and like just the spirit of that project, then I could see you liking this. Just don't go in expecting a clone, because that's not what this is. Fantastic. I love it a lot. Check it out. Edelweiss. Let's talk about another Darkwave record. I kind of showed this briefly, I think in the last video that I made. Why did it get so fucking dark? I was playing this, I think, in the last video, and so I showed the jacket briefly. But Twin Tribes, if you're not familiar, is a band from Texas, and this is, again, their newest album that came out last year, Ceremony. So this is the second album from this band, following the debut, which was called Shadows, that came out in 2018. And I actually prefer this one overwhelmingly to that one, though it is a good record. That being said, I think this album is some of the better Darkwave stuff that I heard, and this is actually a better example of the kind of Darkwave that I've been looking for. As opposed to She Passed Away, this is a little bit more subdued and very moody. The lyrics are about pretty dark themes, which, you know, automatically sort of catapults anything for me into a league above where it would be otherwise. But there's a song on here called The River, which I absolutely fucking adore. But there's the album cover right there. It's just some black roses, and I like the simplicity of it all. There's the back cover right there, put out on Young and Cold Records. It does come in an inner sleeve with all the lyrics and a picture of the two guys in the band. It's just on black vinyl. 700 copies on black vinyl. It was also put on like mint green. But yeah, man, again, this is sort of a bit more in line with what I've been listening to a lot of lately. I'm gonna use probably The River as the song clip, though I did use it at the end of the last video, I think. But whatever, it's awesome. Love it to death. Check it out. Twin Tribes, Ceremony. Finally, we're going to talk about something that's different from everything else we've talked about today. And this is just straightforward rock and roll. This is High Spirits with You Are Here. Kind of like that Edelweiss record being put out through Darker Than Black. It's kind of weird that this was released on a metal label, because this is not a metal album. This was put out through Hell's Headbangers back in 2014, and this was the second High Spirits album. But this is easily my favorite of, I think there's 3 of them now. And this is a one-man project, which I actually didn't know until very recently. It's the same guy from Dawnbringer, the guy from Super Christ. The dude knows how to write a good fucking song, and he's also really good at writing just straight fucking catchy music. And the reason I think I like this album so much is because first of all, it is overly fun, overly catchy, like high energy rock is kind of what this band describes it as. Actually, it's right here. Yeah, 100% high energy rock music. But what's weird is this one kind of has like a bit of a dreamy quality to it. And it's a very moody album that paints a very pretty image in my head. And I think that's what sets this one apart from the other 2 full-length albums. I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah, it's really good. And I'd like to see High Spirits sort of recreate the magic that this record has on it. I love it. There's the album cover, of course, just like a subway map. You Are Here. The back cover is very simple as well. It is kind of just like extended from the front cover, but it's just got the song titles. And I have absolutely no idea why it took me so long to get one of these. I knew I wanted the version that I got, but like, it was always super easy to find. I think I got this for like 15 bucks. I don't know limitations or anything like that. But it's just white with like multicolor splatter. Very, very cool, man. I don't have any other records that look quite like this. I don't think I showed the gatefold either, but it just looks like that. All the lyrics, very cool. So if it sounds interesting, and I hope it does, this is just a really fun record, along with all of these. But I think this one kind of exists to just be a fun record. I love it. Fantastic. Check it out, man. High spirits, you're here. Man, there's gonna be just constant like shifts in the lighting here because I have had to fuck with the brightness on this camera like 5 times throughout the course of this video. But that's it, guys. There's 5 more records for you. Hopefully you fuckers find something you like in here. I know not all of this stuff is everybody's taste, and some of you guys have checked out a long time ago. But if any of it sounds interesting, do support these bands. Do give them your money. I think right along with the rest of us, some of these dudes could be struggling. So, yeah, awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back soon. Later.